Hi, everyone. I'm Carly.
And I'm Sophia.
And this is Away She Goes, a podcast from Girls Who Travel.
Each episode will help you feed your wanderlust with travel tips, stories, inspiration, and more. Away she goes.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Away She Goes. Today, I have a very special guest, my first ever fellow Girls Who Travel group leader, Debbie.
Hi.
Debbie is here to talk about the most recent Girls Who Travel group trip to Morocco.
So exciting. I loved every second of it. And I'm so excited to just have a designated time to word vomit all of my experiences at you. So this is exciting for me.
And I have not heard about it yet. So this is the
Yeah.
first time I'm hearing about all of it. I've been seeing the pictures on
Uh-huh.
Facebook that everybody's been posting. This is also the first Girls Who Travel trip that I have not led. So I had some FOMO. I was like, this is weird that somebody
I
else is doing
know.
this.
One day we're going to get to travel together on a Girls Who Travel trip.
I know. I keep
Yeah.
telling Arden too. Arden needs to go on one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Lisa needs to go on one.
I know.
Gotta drag everybody.
We need to get everybody going.
We need to get everybody on them. I know.
Yeah.
So before you tell us, I'm just going to tell our listeners a few facts about Morocco. I have a monitor over here. That's why I keep looking. So Morocco is located in northern Africa. It's actually just south of Spain. So it's very, very close to continental Europe. The capital is Rabat, and the population as of 2023 was just under 38 million. It was 37.7 million people. The official language is Arabic. So, Debbie, tell me everything. I want to know it all.
It was so amazing. It was amazing from start to finish. And Morocco's been on my bucket list for a while, and I just have never been able to get to there. And also just part of this trip was that I got to go with other people. I usually travel solo, and I've been to other places with a similar vibe, right? Like I've been to Egypt, I've been to Istanbul, right? So going to Morocco wouldn't have been completely out of my comfort zone, but it's also nice to be with other people when you're on a trip like this. And it exceeded all of my expectations. It was just amazing. The group we were with gelled right away. We got along fantastic, which is great because we spent 8 hours a day sometimes on a bus getting from place to place. So we had to get along, and we did, which is great.
Good.
Our tour guide was amazing. We're a group of women traveling the world and enter this male tour guide. And I was like, oh no, what's going to happen? But he was amazing right from the beginning. He's like, I'm going to give you the best trip of your life. And all of us are like, oh, haha, that's so great.
Yeah, sure.
See.
You say that to
But
everybody.
he does say that to everyone, but he was born in Morocco, raised in Morocco. He's been a tour guide for a decade or more, right? So he knew the country, he knew the culture. He was proud to show it off, and he did. He gave us one of the best tours of my life. So,
Good.
yeah, it was amazing from start to finish and exhausting. At the end of every day, I would write a little journal entry about what we did that day so I wouldn't forget. And at the beginning, it was meandering and it was detailed and it had little anecdotes, right? But probably by the third day, I was like, we did this, we ate that, we went to this place, and I'm tired, I'm going to bed, right? So
Good night.
we packed a lot of stuff into our trip.
Yeah.
But of course, we now have a whole list of new places to go to for our second trip because Morocco's an amazing country.
It is.
There were places that we wanted to go to that we couldn't. There were places that we went to that we wanted to spend more time in, and we just didn't have it in the schedule. So yeah, there's definitely I'm definitely going back at some point.
All the trips I've done, which is 3 now, some people, myself included, either go early or stay late and kind of do other stuff. Did anybody do that with your group?
Yeah, there were a couple people who showed up early, a day or two early in Casablanca. We didn't have any official tours in Casablanca, so it was sort of up to you to just sort of explore the city. I showed up that morning, early that morning. And so I spent the afternoon going to the mosque. And then, of course, I did the absolute most basic tourist thing that I loved was going to Rick's Cafe in Casablanca.
I've never
The
heard of this.
movie from Casablanca the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
so Rick's Cafe, that's the name of the character. Anyway, it has nothing to do with the movie. It's just some industrious person was like, we should open a restaurant and call it Rick's Cafe, and people will come from all over, and they do.
And they do.
Like me, I fell for it, but it was fun. I didn't really have much time to explore much else in Casablanca because our tour officially started the next day. And then, of course, we went through like all 7 or 8 days of our tour, I think. And then at the end, I stayed a little bit extra. So people came early and then left when the tour ended. I came right on time and stayed a little
And
extra.
stayed late. Okay.
Yeah, so I went up to Rabat. I didn't have as much time there as I expected. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll show up and I'll go see this and I'll explore that." But again, I'm coming off like an 8-day tour that was
Mhm.
already exhausting. So I show up in Rabat and I go to hammam, which is like one of those like I don't wanna call it a spa, it's like one of those cleansing places, but
Yeah.
it was not a tourist hammam, it was definitely, like, one of
Oh,
those like, local places, and so, like, I paid whatever fee to have one of the women, like, scrub me down, and I felt like a little baby seal on the floor, she was just, like, pushing me around, and, so I did the hammam, which was really nice, like, washing all of the travel dust off of you. And then I went to dinner, and then that was it, like, I had to leave for my flight the next morning,
mm,
and so I didn't have time to explore Rabat, and I was like, "Oh, man, I took a 3-hour train ride for what? I coulda stayed in
yeah.
Marrakesh," but
Yeah.
whatever, it's one of those things that I was like I wanted to see as much of Morocco as I could,
Yeah.
so I've been to Rabat, I don't think I've ever actually seen Rabat it
Mhm.
properly, but that's, the list of things to do when I go back, so
Got
but
it.
yeah, people came early and left late.
Yeah, I typically I think Portugal I was right on time for both. Vietnam I got there early, left
Mhm.
on time. Africa I did both. I got there early and stayed late.
Yeah.
Like I'm coming
Sounds
all
like
that way.
yeah, you might as well, and there's so much to see down there too.
Oh yeah. And my flight, like because of the way our trip was for Africa, I booked a one-way flight into Victoria Falls and a one-way
Mhm.
flight out of Namibia. The
Okay.
one-way flight out of Namibia, I am not exaggerating, was half the price the day after versus the day the tour ended, and I was like, "I'm staying
Oh,
the extra day." It was like an
yeah.
8 or $900 difference, and I'm like, "I'm not gonna
Yeah.
pay that much to stay here for a day, so
Yeah.
cool."
Yeah, even if you pay for a hotel, it's cheaper at that point.
I think it was like
Right.
$30 for me to stay in the G Adventures hotel for an extra night, and I was like,
Mm.
yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was like 50. I was like, "Okay, that's not the 900 extra that the plane ticket costs. Cool."
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you guys go to I do not know how to pronounce it, the Blue City?
No, that was one of the big things at the end of the trip. Um, so when I was sending out, like, the itinerary and,
Mhm.
like, the promotional material for everyone who's going on the trip, I just went on to, like, what's that, like, Pixel website where you get those free or, like, searching through the Canva's catalog of, like, free Morocco pictures. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
throwing Morocco pictures on the thing. One of the pictures was the Blue City, but we didn't go to the Blue City. So we got to
Mhm.
the end of the tour, and one of the girls, she was joking. She was joking. But she's like, "Deb, it's such a disappointment. Like, you promised us this and you didn't take us here." And I was like, "I'm so sorry." Like,
Sorry.
she was joking. Um, but no, we didn't get to go to the Blue
Okay.
City. Our tour didn't officially even go to Rabat, right? So, like, there were
Yeah.
definitely places that we missed that, like I said, the next trip we go to Morocco, we'll definitely add it. But yeah, I mean, Morocco is such a big and beautiful country, and everywhere you go, there's like a little touch of different. It's different, right? Because there were so many different cultures and historical time
Mm.
periods. Like the Romans were there, the Arabs were there, the Spaniards were there, right? There was like the original native population of Morocco going back millennia, right? So like every time you went to a different place in Morocco, there was like a almost like a different theme. Like people would be speaking Spanish up closer to the north, and like there was definitely more Arabic in other places. So there was French all over, right? So like you sort of had to know a little bit about everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
Yeah.
was there were places we missed. There were definitely deep dives we could have done that we didn't, but yeah, looking forward to going back.
And that's the thing, like the tours, like you said, you pack so much in to a
Hmm.
7, 8, a 10-day trip, but there's only so much you can do. Like as much as you do in that time, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I wish we could go here. I wish we could have done that. Like there's always something to like go back to
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
So you started in Casablanca.
Hmm.
Where did you go from there?
So our first like full day of the tour, we started in Casablanca. We went to a city called, hang on, let me see. Oh, Meknes, which is a
Okay.
UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's like a walled city. It's just like it has more of like that old school ancient marketplace vibe.
Okay.
We had a tour guide there who took us through and told us about like the old market and like how they used to have dancing in the city square and things like that. And then we went to Volobulus? I don't know. I'm probably butchering. It's one of those old Roman archaeological sites where they had
Okay.
their forts back in the day. So we did a tour of that, which was cool. It was like up on this hill and there's like frescoes, still like those tile frescoes on the floor and like I mean I have like an anthropological background, so like this was like my bread and butter. I
Oh,
loved
I'm
it.
sure.
And then we ended up in Fez that night, which is like a huge city in
Yeah.
Morocco. Fez is a big city. So like even just the first day we're like Casablanca, Meknes, Volabulus, Fez, like
All in
that's
one
just the
day.
first day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we definitely bounced around a lot, but our basic itinerary went from like Casablanca to Fez, Fez to Merzouga, which is like out in the Sahara, Merzouga to uh Tangier,
Yep.
and then to, hang on a second, this one's the hardest to pronounce. Orzazat. Oh man, I think I already forgot how to pronounce it. It's like oh, I'll talk about it in a second. And then from there we went to Marrakesh, and Marrakesh is where we ended.
And that's where it ended. And then you went to Rabat after on your own.
I went to Rabat after. Yeah,
So,
so
yeah,
if you're
you're
not familiar with Morocco geography, we started up in like the northwest corner. We did like a half moon shape, and then we ended up down in Marrakesh down at the bottom. So that's sort of what we did.
yeah, you basically are in a different, almost in a different city every day.
Yeah. We were only in the same hotel twice on the trip.
Mhm.
So like we did have to like unpack and pack and unpack and pack, and we were
Yeah.
constantly on the bus, but like we did get to see a lot. Like unless you're like really prepared for moving around that much, like it was a little exhausting.
It
Like I
is.
would have preferred to stay in one place for a little longer, but then again, like I would have missed so much if I had stayed.
And
So
that's the kind of the double-edged sword of these trips
yeah.
is you see a lot, but you also miss a lot
Yeah.
because you have
Yeah.
such a short amount of time in each space. Yeah,
Mm.
Africa and Vietnam both were the same, I think. Vietnam, I think we were in maybe there was one city in the middle of Vietnam that we were in for like 3 nights, and that felt like, oh, good. Like
I
I
know.
could go back.
Oh, we can relax.
Yeah. Safari though, it was a different place every single night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to like make sure you have all the things you need easily accessible every time.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
It's not for the faint of heart
No.
traveling like that. So, all right. So Casablanca to so with the if day one
Casablanca
you
to,
end up in Fez by the end of
yep.
the day. So how long were you in Fez for? Because that's a bigger city.
That was one of the times we were in the same place twice. So we got to Fez that night. We stayed in Fez.
Got it.
We did a whole tour of Fez the very next day and then stayed in Fez again that night.
Got it.
So yeah, we went to Casablanca, from Casablanca to Fez the first day, but we didn't explore Fez until like the next
The
day.
next day. Okay.
And it was worth it. Like it was, there was so much to see. And our tour guide, like I said, was amazing. Yusuf, shout out to Yusuf.
Woo.
He would take us to like the old school vendors in the marketplace because he's like, oh, you don't want this like fast produced
Mm-hmm.
merchandise. It's gonna fall apart. It's just not the same. So he would bring us to the cooperatives in the marketplaces that were preserving like the old artistic way of um, making scarves or rugs or the ceramic pottery, right? So, like, we got to see how those things were traditionally made. We went to the vendors who were still doing it that way and like selling the
Mm,
actual pieces and not
yeah.
just like the tourist version of those things. So, he was really good about like showing us the historical part of
Mhm.
those marketplaces too, instead of just like, oh, here's where you can buy your little like pretend magic lamp, right? Like he showed us like the merchants that were actually like doing the work there. So it was
Yeah.
fun. It was good. I bought a lot, a lot more than I expected.
That's
But like how
always
can you not? Like you show up in this place and like Like, yeah, we harvested the camel wool and we refined it and we're turning it into these beautiful like headscarves. Do you want one? I was like, yes, please take my
Of course I
money.
do. Yes, take my
I'll
money.
take four.
I think when I was looking at the pictures, because I joined your photo circle just so I could see.
Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah,
like, I'm nosy and I want to see what they're up to.
of
The
course.
desert, the
It was
desert.
amazing.
Oh my God. I saw
Yeah.
those pictures. That I had FOMO the whole time, but that was really where I was like, oh God. Like,
Yeah, and that's, like I said, one of the places I wish we could have stayed longer
mhm,
because we really loved it out there. It was just quiet, right? And our hotel was like right up against the Sahara Desert. So like you stepped off of the back patio onto the sand
yeah.
and you could just go. Like there was no fence. There was no one watching you, right? You could just walk out onto the dunes. So like we took the camel ride out into the desert, which was a lot of fun. Um and then that night, there was like a little bonfire that people had set up. So there was like dancing and music, and some
Mhm.
people laid out like on the sand under the stars and just like watched the stars out in the desert. So yeah, I really wish I had more time to explore that area because there were other things that we could have done. We took um we took like a Jeep ride out into the desert the next day, like sort of like driving around in the sand, which was
Yeah.
fun. When I first read the itinerary, I thought we were taking our own quads out. So, like,
Okay.
not that it was a disappointing experience, but, like, from what I had imagined to what we actually did
It was
was
different.
different, and I was like, "Man,
Yeah.
by time I would have gone, like, on a quad trip too,"
Mhm.
right? Or they have, horseback riding, and I love horse
Yeah.
so I could have done that too. Or, like, they had hotels that were set up more like camps, like glamping
Yep.
further into the desert. So like you had to like drive way out to this little oasis and then you can stay in like a tent out there instead.
Mhm.
So like there's just cool things. But like I said, next time. I feel
Next
like that's
time.
the theme of the trip was like
Next
we're having
time.
so much fun and next time we come back we'll also have so much more fun.
Yeah, you have like a list of what we want to do next time.
Yeah. Yeah, the desert. I really wish we had been able to spend more time there. But I mean, like there were so many other like I said, if you spend more time there, you miss out on something else, and I wouldn't
Right.
have missed a single moment of the trip anyway, so,
Right. And that's again the double-edged sword of you
yeah.
see a lot, but you miss a lot at the same time.
Mhm, mhm.
So what came after the desert?
There's so much, right? Like I said, every journal entry was like I got to the end of the day, and I was like, "I can't believe what we did this morning was the same
This
day as, like,
morning,
2
yeah.
days ago," right? So, like, some of the highlights that are popping out to me, like, we went to one of the movie studios in Morocco because they do a lot of, like, film shoots there.
That's cool.
'Cause it doubles as, like, the Middle East, or it doubles as, like, the Old West, and, uh, one of the popular things was, like, they shot a lot of Game of Thrones scenes in
Mhm.
Morocco, so we went to one of the film studios in Morocco, and this is where, like, our tour guide, again, really stepped up and made a difference. Like, he got us there at, like, the very end of the day, so we were one of the last groups to buy our tickets, but he also knew one of the tour guides, so the tour guide was, like, taking us around and we did a couple of our own little film shoots. Like we did like a shootout in the Old
That's
West.
really cool.
We did like a Speed, you know, the movie Speed with Sandra Bullock. We did
Yeah.
like a little bus scene with it, that
That's
kind
so
of thing.
cool.
So yeah, oh gosh, it was just so fun. And because our tour guide knew to take us in last, to get us this particular tour guide through the studio, like we were just, like, on our own, like, we
Mm.
hardly saw anybody else through the rest of the trip, so it was just a really special experience, um, just being able to do that and have that, like instead of getting rushed through because there's another tour coming behind you, right,
Yeah.
like, we really had a great time in that
That
space.
sounds like so much fun.
Oh, yeah, it was
That
amazing.
sounds like a blast.
Yeah, and then this wasn't on the official itinerary, but several of us, when we got to Marrakesh, we did the dinner in the sky.
I saw that. Oh, I don't know. That looked like so much I don't know if I could do it, but it looked like fun. I think
Yeah, it was so fun. It was
I think I could
amazing.
do
You saw the sunset over the
it.
city, and it was an experience. I would probably do it again in, like, another city.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that was fun. That was another highlight that when I think back on my trip, some of these memories just, like, pop up faster than other
Yeah.
ones, so but yeah, those are, I think, some of the highlights.
Did you have a favorite city or a favorite location?
Yeah, like I said, the desert. I think I'd go
It
back
was
to
the
the desert,
desert.
which, like,
Yeah.
surprised me, like, I'm not a desert person, but, like, I like the beach. So, like, being out there and, like, really enjoying it, but then also, like, the Sahara is sort of like a desert. It's like a ocean, right? Like, it's just wide and
It's
expansive and
huge.
huge, right? So, like, I guess, like, in a weird sense, it's just the opposite side of the coin of the
Mhm.
thing that I loved anyway. So, yeah, no, the desert was,
That was
um, amazing.
How was the food?
Oh,
I
so
love see, I love, like, Middle Eastern food, I love
oh,
Moroccan
so
food.
good. Yeah. We took a cooking class.
Oh,
Okay, one of
oh,
the other things,
yeah,
right? Like, so many things happened.
I know.
But yeah, we did end up taking a cooking class, but, oh, the food was amazing. They gave us, like, it's, like, so simple, but it's oranges with cinnamon on them, just, like,
Ooh,
orange cinnamon sprinkled on it, and you just, like, pop the whole slice into your mouth. It was so good, and, of course, there's, like, mint tea everywhere you go. It's an important cultural part of Morocco. So they're pouring you tea, and, we had tagine, like, almost everywhere, and our tour guide would also take us to places where, like, we can get a home-cooked meal from a local family because he knew someone who was willing to
that's
do.
really cool.
So they called it Moroccan pizza. It obviously wasn't like American pizza. It's like sort of like this phyllo pastry dough with like uh meat filling inside with all these kind of spices. Ugh,
Sounds so good, oh my
so
god.
amazing.
Don't tell Team Girls Who Travel, we'll start another pizza debate. So for everybody listening, Team Girls Who Travel has a very violent debate on pizza. So our founder,
because
Arden, is
because yeah, Arden's from
Arden's
Chicago.
from
I'm
Chicago.
from New York.
I am from New York.
Yep. So there's the traditional, there's the never ending Chicago versus New
Yes,
York.
the deep dish versus New York pizza argument that happens all the time.
Yeah,
So
it's
now
a
we have
running
Moroccan pizza to add into the mix. That sounds
Moroccan
really good
pizza,
though.
which isn't, I mean, I think they called it pizza just because they wanted to, like,
Yeah,
get it more palpable for the Western imagination, but, I wouldn't call it a pizza.
sounds really
I
good.
mean, I don't know if I'd call Chicago pizza a
I
pizza
wouldn't call
anyway.
Chicago pizza is not a pizza, and we're saying it's being recorded, so it must be true.
Obviously,
It must be true.
there's only facts on this podcast.
Everything spoken on Away She Goes is completely factual. So Chicago deep dish
Yep.
is a casserole more so than a pizza,
Not pizza.
not pizza.
Um, okay, sorry. As we were talking, my mind tripped to, I can't believe I didn't mention this already. So our tour guide is Moroccan, was like born in Morocco, traveled around Morocco, is now a tour guide. So he knows a lot of other families, especially like some of the nomadic families that live in Morocco. So one day we're like, we're going to see this like really pretty gorge somewhere in Morocco. And so we keep going, right? Like we pass like the touristy part and we keep going up into the hills a little bit. And all of a sudden, like our bus driver pulls over to the side of the road and our tour guide is just like walking us up this hill to a cave, not a cave, it's like a little recess in the rocks. And it's like someone lives there, like a nomadic family lives there. And he's like, come on, let's go visit. And we were like, we can't just go to these people's
Oh my
house,
god.
right? They weren't even there. He just like walked us up the hill and he's like, yeah, look around. And we're like, I I felt like Elizabeth showing up at Pemberley, right? If you know Pride and Prejudice, like you just take a tour of someone's like house.
They're not even there.
And I was like, they're not even here. Like, are we allowed to just like do this? But I mean, this just goes to show you how kind and friendly the Moroccan people are.
Mm.
The woman came home and she just welcomed us. She was like, "Oh, hey, friends of Yusuf, you are welcome. Let me make
Wow.
you tea. Let me make you bread." And so we sat around in this lady's like living room, and she passed us around tea, and we just sang. And like someone found like one of those little like sheepskin drums, so like we were dancing and singing and drinking tea with the
Wow.
family. And the kids came home from school at some point, so like there's a little 10-year-old boy and an 8-year-old girl. There's like there's a little goat somewhere, there's a puppy and a kitten, right? It was just like it was amazing,
That's so cool. I can't imagine if I just came home and there were people at my house.
right? And
I would probably be like, "Get out."
yeah, what are you doing here? Yeah, no, but this woman was so welcoming. Everyone in Morocco was so welcoming, so kind, and I mean, like, I've traveled to a lot of different places, but yeah, no, Morocco is special in that way. Like, anywhere you went in the country, people were friendly and kind and happy to explain their country and their culture and their history and very chatty, very welcoming. Yeah, so that was a nice example of just like popping into someone's home and being like, "Hey, we're here. How about a dance party?" So, it was great.
One thing I have been really curious about asking you because, I have not been to Morocco yet, but, certain countries have certain reputations for being certain ways, and I think one that Morocco has, especially towards women, is that, like, when you're in a market or you're walking down the street, like, you're gonna get hassled and you're gonna
Mhm.
get harassed. Did you guys experience that at all? A little bit? A
A
lot?
little a little bit.
A little
I
bit.
mean, like I said earlier, I've been to Egypt and I've been to Istanbul, so I was, like, fully prepared
Mhm.
to deal with and manage those situations, but comparing Morocco to those other places, it wasn't the same.
It
Like,
wasn't as bad.
it wasn't as bad. Yeah,
'Cause
all
I've
those
heard horrible things about Egypt when it comes to that.
Yeah, Egypt was particularly, like,
Difficult, I've
in your
heard.
face,
Yeah.
I guess, and people will follow men will follow you down the
Mhm.
street, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I mean, like, as a New Yorker, like, you just learn to just, like, keep walking, right? But, I was fully prepared to have to, like, pull out that talent in Morocco, but I didn't have to, like,
Okay.
yeah, people would, like, whistle or catcall you, but they didn't follow you.
Okay.
Like,
So
I
it
hadn't
wasn't
been
as intense
before.
as, like, Egypt.
No, it wasn't,
Okay.
and, like, I had prepared ahead of time, like, I had a lot of fun shopping for this trip. So I had, like, a whole new set of clothes that I brought specifically for Morocco to, like, keep myself covered
Mhm.
respectfully and still be comfortable and still, feel like me while I was traveling. But there were other tourists there who were much more Western, very dressed much more Western
Okay.
style with like tighter jeans, I would say, or shirts that like more tank top kind of shirts
Mm.
expose their whole arm. So like there were
Okay.
people who were doing that too,
Okay.
and I didn't notice them getting harassed in any sort of way. Maybe
Okay.
it's just I wasn't with them long enough, but like it wasn't unusual for us to be walking through the markets and seeing like a Western person dressed in traditional like Western
Yeah.
style clothes.
Okay.
Um, I think Morocco is just trying to like modernize itself. So yeah, there's a lot of cultural representation and a lot of history that they're very proud of that they still represent for themselves. But
Mhm.
I think especially being such a high tourist population, especially in the major cities, like they've just been used to welcoming other people with other forms of expression, right? So yeah, I was not uncomfortable at all while I was there.
That's something I've found when traveling too, is, like, the impression that people have of a place.
Hmm.
When you get there, you're like, "Why?" Like, even
Yeah.
even with Africa, like, when I told people I was going to Zimbabwe, which has a
Hmm.
reputation like South Africa for being particularly unsafe. Now, mind you, I was in Victoria Falls. I think if I was in Harare, I probably would have had a different experience, but
Hmm.
Victoria Falls, I did not feel uncomfortable at all. Nowhere in Botswana,
Yeah.
Namibia, nowhere in the 4 countries that I was in did I feel uncomfortable or unsafe at
Yeah.
all. At least from the people, like, when you're hanging over the edge of Victoria Falls, you kinda feel a little
Yeah.
unsafe, but,
I
like,
think
that was
that's
my own
the
doing, you
glory.
know? So
Yeah.
so that too, like, everybody was like, "Oh, you're crazy for going to those countries, like, what are you thinking going to those countries in Africa?" And I was like, "Okay," and then I got there and I was like, "It's
This
fine."
is fine. Yeah. I
It's
had a bunch
not.
of people tell me that too. Other
I'm
people who went
sure.
to Morocco, but again, like, they were parents dealing with, like, children, so maybe there was, like, a different when they
Mhm,
went, they were parents dealing with children. So maybe there was a different, like, heightened expectation that they had just taking care of
mhm,
their own kids. But also, like, yeah, a lot of times we were with the group, but I went out by myself a lot. I was walking
and
around
you felt fine.
Casablanca,
Yeah,
and I was fine, right? Like,
yeah,
we splintered off sometimes, we were in smaller groups, we were by ourselves, so, like, yeah, there was no point in any situation where I felt ever unsafe.
alright. Is there anything else that you want to highlight or mention before we wrap up?
Oh my
I
gosh.
know, I know.
There's just, like there's so much, and I wish I could just, like, have a photo slide of everything to, like, show you and tell you, and
Like a PowerPoint.
yeah, like, please sit down for my TED Talk. Let me just scroll through this itinerary, like I think I mentioned all the highlights that I wanted to talk about. I mean, I could just go and keep talking about Morocco all day
All day,
long.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I just wanted to highlight like how amazing our group was. Like I said in the beginning, like we really meshed well. We all like got along, and there were a couple people who like traveled together, like as
Mhm.
friends, but
Yep.
like they definitely split themselves up and like sat with other people on the
Yeah.
bus and
Yep.
got to know other people. So like by the end of the trip, we were all like great friends. So I think part of the reason we had such a success in this trip was because we had great people who were
Mhm.
our with us too. So yeah, shout out to everyone else who went on the trip because all of that rolled into one experience, made it fantastic. The
Yeah,
tour,
it
like,
changes the
progressed the
entire
group. Yeah.
dynamic, is your group,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, if anyone from the group is listening to this podcast, I just hope, like, I hope I could did you guys justice. And like, I hope I highlighted everything that you remember well. And like I said, we're planning to go back. So if I missed anything, we'll have a chance to do it again.
Girls Who Travel Morocco round 2.
Yeah.
Speaking of future Girls Who Travel trips, I
Mm,
know a lot of people on my most recent trip were asking me. I know a lot of people on your trip were asking you.
yeah.
We are cooking up some stuff. We do not currently have any plans for the rest of this year for another Girls Who Travel trip, but they have not gone away permanently. Things are quiet for now. We're taking a little break, but we are cooking up some stuff. So stay
Yep.
tuned, signed up for our newsletter. I'll put the link in the episode description so you'll be the first to know when we announce our new trip. Stay tuned to our Facebook page where we announce our trips, but there are more coming, we promise.
Absolutely. Yeah. We are not letting these go away. They're hugely popular. They're just amazing trips
They're
too.
amazing. They're so much
Yeah.
fun.
So amazing. And you get to travel with other girls who travel. And
Yep.
that was one of the things on the trip that I was a little worried about for myself because I usually solo travel.
Hmm.
Right? So like showing up and now there's like 12 other people and I'm like, "Oh my God, I have to share my time and like
Yeah.
my space with these people." But it was great. It was fantastic. Traveling with other like-minded women really makes a difference.
It
So
makes a huge
highly
difference.
recommend. And I don't know. You and I are gonna have to fight over who gets to lead the next trip.
I know. You know, there's one that I want. There's one that
I
I am
know.
taking for
I
sure.
know. I'm sorry. Yeah, fine. I'll let you
You
have
can come
it.
on it if you want, but like other than that, yeah, we'll like rock, paper, scissors or something to
To see
figure
who
it out.
gets to go where.
Yeah. That's all for this episode. If you'd like more Away She Goes in your life, make sure to stop by girlswhotravel.org/podcast. That's where you can fill out a form if you're interested in being a guest on the show. You can also write to us at awayshegosgwt@gmail.com or leave us a message on our Google voicemail from any phone or computer at 1-563-503-6323. To follow our adventures, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Carli Sees the World. Carli is spelled Carli.
You can also follow me at Sophia AEZ, Sophia with a PH. Away She Goes is part of Girls Who Travel, a community dedicated to radically redefining travel to be inclusive, sustainable, and empowering. You can learn more about GWT, find travel tips and support, shop travel themed items made by GWT members, and join our Facebook group with nearly 100,000 women all around the world at girlswhotravel.org. We can't wait to connect and explore with you. Away she goes.